All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, just gentlemen, I should say, because 99.4% of you are male. So now that all the ladies are gone, let's talk about what is probably my most slept on subclass in terms of Crucible. Now, before you get the pitchfork mobs out and get angry at me, like some of you are, yes, I do know that Strand Titan is really, really good in PvE. However, the point of this is from a casual's point of view, quote unquote, reviewing subclasses in Crucible, and I had a damn good time playing Strand Titan, more so than the worst subclass in the entire game, Void Warlock, but let's move on. Let me show you what I was doing for builds this time around. I'm changing up the way I'm showing the build this time just to show very clearly what I was doing and what mods I was using on how to get to that point. I'm using the Aspects, Banner of War, and Into the Fray. Banner of War, every time you get a melee kill like this build is designed to do, you get that crazy good banner, which gives you and your allies healing and increased sword damage. And I use Into the Fray specifically so that every time I destroyed a tangle, either by shooting it or by throwing it, I was giving Woven Mail to myself and to my nearby allies. I could have used the Dragon's Fang, but I thought that having Woven Mail up more was going to be better long run for my Crucible success and for my allies, and it was the right decision in retrospect. Combined with the fragments Thread of Mind, Thread of Warding, Thread of Propagation, and Thread of Continuity. For the exotic, I'm choosing to use AC/DC Feedback Fence specifically because of a certain interaction it has in its rework state. Every time you get a melee hit on anything, you get an armor charge combined with the mod Stacks on Stacks and Time Dilation. Every time you hit something with a charged melee or uncharged melee, you get 2 stacks of armor charge. I don't know if this is a bug or if this is intentional, but being able to combine the free armor charge away with the grapple into the melee attack, it just is a really good way to build stacks really quickly, really efficiently, ensuring that you always have damage reduction and you always have Woven Mail and you always have movement abilities and just anything and everything to get around the map and to be as lethal as humanly possible. For my weapons, pretty much the entire time, I was swapping between 2 exotics. I was either using Fighting Lion or Duality. Now, they both had their ups and downs depending on the map. I would switch to Fighting Lion, of course, for longer range and switch to Duality for the close range, but I was trying out the new Lethal Abundance Auto Rifle for the majority of this time for my kinetic weapon for my primary slot. It is very good, trying to get a much better roll on it, and I was doing some absolute work, and I would recommend it to anybody who was able to farm even a good one. The roll I was using specifically had Slice and Target Lock. Everybody knows how broken Target Lock is, just increased damage, and Slice being able to, on command, cast your class ability and to be able to apply Sever to any opponent is just really, really good. My time using Strand Titan, it wasn't all good. The main strategy was essentially to get a grapple grenade, go in melee, hope I get melee back and be able to one-shot areas of opponents using AC/DC Feedback Fence, and to just be a complete and total nuisance to the opposing team just with speed, momentum, and melee. That was the philosophy. I found myself routinely getting shut down by shotguns in the first couple hours of my time playing. It was because I was just using the grapple grenade to go in and think I'm going to get a 7-person multi-kill just with the charge melee, but I would just get hit with the shotgun. The animations are surprisingly slow. There's enough reaction time allowed so that I was just dying off of the grapple animation. But there was nowhere that I can say to myself that this needed improvement, period. There wasn't any bad matchup, any single subclass, like even all the stasis subclasses, it wasn't stopping the momentum that I thought I had. I don't know if that was because I just came up against less stasis. In fact, I was playing against more than I did in my other video where I was complaining about stasis during my Arc Hunter video. I was having a whole heck of a lot of fun playing Strand Titan. I usually have fun playing Destiny, except from when I'm playing Void Warlock, and it was really easy to see why some people think that Strand Titan might be broken or might be balanced or might be no skill, but there's a couple things, a couple points of pain that I was noticing when I was playing, specifically with the charged melee not connecting on a lot of circumstances, as I'm going to demonstrate. Frenzied Blades are really good, but they have certain tracking issues that I noticed. But in other times, like you're seeing right now, I'm able to just click my powered melee button and then be in the air to kill a warlock that's floofing around. It was pretty hit or miss, but I found the ways to use it pretty much was to just hope and pray. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. You have 3 of them. 2 of them was enough to secure a kill. 1 of them was enough to secure a kill after a grapple melee, so live and let live. And moving on to the super, I think that it is probably the best roaming super in the entire game, the Strand Titan that being. There's really no reason for me to think that it isn't the best when it just does so much, being able to stack the Banner of War with the Woven Mail, with the suspending, with the movement. It just is a really, really good feeling, and I encourage everyone to make the most out of it in Crucible. Putting it simply, the strengths of the Strand Titan subclass is everything, and its weaknesses are minimal. The only real weakness that I would see is the recharge and the timer issues from the triple stack of the melee, and the grapple grenade being really punishing if you miss it by not having the shortest cooldown known to man and not being able to bail yourself out of a botch to grapple. This was one of the few subclasses that I really didn't find map dependent on anything. The long range maps were doable with the use of the mobility. The short range maps were very good because of the tight angles that I was able to play with the Berserker grenades and the charge melees and stuff like that. I think the only bad map that I played the entire time was Disjunction, but Disjunction is single-handedly the worst map in the entire game, so it is understandable as to why I wasn't having a good time while doing that. Apart from the builds and the playstyle and the maps, I don't think I can yap on any longer, as much as I would love to gush and talk about how much I was enjoying myself while playing Strand Titan. I think I'm just going to get straight into the rankings and stack up where I think Strand Titan belongs compared to the other subclasses in Destiny 2 that I have already done. This is where our rankings were left off last time, and Strand Titan, I think it is also yet another competitive subclass. It is not perfectly average. It does one thing, and it does it really, really well, and that's allowing a power fantasy for the player to feel like they are not only Spider-Man, but they can just dive straight into combat, heads up, punch, punch, punch. It is the definition of a pure Titan subclass, and I'm not taking any points away from it, but there's nothing cheesy about it, like the Hunter being able to spam threadlings. There's nothing inherently broken about its mechanics, like Void Titan being able to spam overshields all the time, or Restoration spamming from the Solar Warlocks, and it's not hot garbage like Void Warlock is, so I just have to rank it in competitive. I know I haven't accidentally stumbled across what I consider to be an average subclass yet, but don't worry, spoiler alert, we're gonna get to it pretty darn soon. Rounding things off here, I'm not going to take too much time left. I'm just going to play a couple more clips that I gathered and just say, if you're still here, thank you for watching the video. I do appreciate every single one of you commenting and telling me what you think or why you think I'm wrong. I feel it helps me to become a better, more informed player of Destiny 2, and contrary to popular belief, it is my favorite game, and I do spend a whole heck of a lot of time playing it, more so Crucible recently, considering I am getting a bit tired of doing all of the other PvE activities, and this is something that I haven't really sunk my head into until this season. So, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, recommend it to somebody. Recommend me your builds in the comments. The first person who can guess which subclass I'm doing next gets to pick the build, and that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching.